Hey, we're live.
We are live. Booze
Good
Dancing
evening.
Entertainment Network is live on a Whiskey Wednesday. We are 2/3 of us are here, and supposedly the other third's coming later. So we welcome everyone to the big shoe here on a Wednesday night. How are we today?
We're doing all right. We're doing
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Midweek live cast, which will be turned into a podcast later on. We're going to talk about a movie. We're going to talk about some whiskey. How's life? We haven't done this for a while. How's life? How
I'm
things
doing all
going?
right. Doing okay. Doing okay.
Yeah,
A little topsy turvy, but not too bad.
topsy turvy. Topsy turvy can be good, can be bad. Yep.
Eh,
We are in the throes of sports craziness here, and that's going to connect a little bit to our evening. Correct?
yeah, exactly. Because you know what month it is, right?
It is.
Red October.
It is.
Red,
It's
Oct-
October,
Red
and that is not
October.
the movie. And that is not the movie tonight.
Not the movie, baby. Not the movie.
That is not the movie. Wouldn't that be something if it was again?
I wouldn't mind. I'd see that
We
again.
probably could do it again with Red October.
Oh, totally.
We could easily, because we find all kinds of things.
You know,
Movie.
by the way, when we did Red October, wasn't it during Red October?
I don't recall that.
I
We'll
don't
have to go
know.
to the archives.
I'll go to the archives eventually. But in the meantime, you think I should run the intro?
Run the old intro, and we'll get this shoe on the road.
Okie dokie. Welcome to What We Watch When We Drink, a Booze Dancing Entertainment Network podcast featuring lively discussions about movies, TV shows, and anything else that we're watching while we drink our favorite boozy beverages. If you enjoy this show, please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Audible, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can also find us on boozdancing.com. And if you have any questions, comments, show or drink suggestions, email us at boozdancing@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And we'd love to hear from you tonight. If you're watching us tonight on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, boozdancing.com, you can definitely make some comments to us in the chat, and we'd be happy to chat with you along the way during the whole evening. This is Booze Dancing. This is the one show, one drink, sort of. It's two drinks, one show tonight.
We'll just call it What We Watch When We Drink. Keep it simple.
What we watch when we drink, the famous podcast from boozdancing.com. This is the unofficial podcast of record for the Major League Baseball playoffs. We sit here with the Phillies up 2-0 over the Diamondbacks, 2-0, and the Rangers are up 2-0 on the much hated Houston Astros. And as we speak, game 3 with those two, it is 4-0 Houston. And we hope that changes really soon, because we do not like the Astros, as we were talking about earlier before we came on. We'll get some updates to you during the night from the Booze Dancing Sports Wire. But now we can talk about playoffs all night. I know I could. This is the greatest time of year. You got baseball playoffs, you got football, hockey started, NHL started this week, NBA starts next week. It is sports insanity, correct?
Correct.
But we are going to do something else. We're going to talk about a couple of whiskeys and a movie. What's our movie?
The movie
we just talked about.
The movie is called Angels in the Outfield. Now, it's not the remake. It is the 1951 original. And,
we don't go for the remakes. We go for the original.
Well, I was curious. I was really, really curious. And it's from 1951. It stars Paul Douglas and Janet Leigh.
Yeah, this is a classic, and it's in beautiful black and white.
It is in beautiful black and white. It looks fantastic.
It does look fantastic. We are going to talk about that movie in depth, and we have two whiskeys, not one, but two whiskeys from our friends. Dos whiskeys from our friends at Impact Beverages. From the same distillery. You say it.
All right. So they're both from Ardnamurchan distillery.
Sure, that was pretty good.
Ardnamurchan. Sure.
I'm going to spell it. I will spell it for the home audience. It's Ardnamurchan. You can pronounce it any way you damn well please.
Okay. Ardnamurchan.
That sounds good. Sure.
Uh,
It's Scott. I believe it's Scottish.
Ardnamurchan. And for those who don't know, that's what it looks
Ooh,
like.
look at that. There you go.
Ardnamurchan.
Ardnamurchan. It's easy. Once you see all the letters, it looks like a freaking eye chart.
It's like what was that? Remember the Sesame Street?
I do remember Sesame
The
Street.
longest word. It was
Oh.
Big Bird, Abcadab, whatever. He just basically says all the letters in a row.
It's like that.
It's something like that.
ABCs, yeah.
But correct. Better because this is whiskey.
And it's whiskey. That's right. So we are going to start off with one of those whiskeys. We're going to start off, correct? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Yes. So we are going to start off with the Maclean's Nose Blend, correct?
Correct.
That we were sent to, as I said, from Impex Beverages, who are the importers of this fine brand from Scotland. And do you have any words from the Impex folks? Or
yeah, I do actually. I do. From
Go right ahead.
Okay, so it's Maclean's Nose Blended Scotch Whisky, blended and brought to life by Team Ardnamurchan, endorsed and approved by our Chief Nose. Maclean's Nose is a nod to our rugged Western Peninsula home and an homage to the long mentorship we have received from Mr. Charles Maclean. The bottle labels have been designed in partnership with Scottish artist Ruben Chandegorlay. I don't know. They are made from crushed barley, a sustainable paper, and include QR codes that share information about the whiskey and its makeup. Here's a little bit more about it. Blended to have a West Coast character with both a high malt content, 70%, and a high proportion of ex-sherry casks. Unchill filtered, no color added, 46% ABV, 25,000 bottle initial release, 3,384 bottles for the United States.
Wow. There we go. So that is where we are. And
pour some?
I'm going to pour some.
Okay.
In my cute little bottle.
Right there.
Where's my little? There we go. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Put our nose in that thing.
Yes. Oh, hold on. You're skipping a step there, bro.
Oh, we're gonna do the cheers thing first. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a good piece of glass, but this will have to work.
That's okay.
Ready?
There. Cheers.
Cheers. Ding. All right. We are ready to go.
Oh, smells lovely. Smells lovely. It's fruity. Not particularly smoky. Just a lot of fruit.
Very, very fruit forward.
I'm getting like baked apples.
Cinnamon.
Yep. Apple, cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla. Maybe some pear. Smells nice.
Go
ahead. What were you
saying?
Sure.
Raisin?
So it's like a French apple pie.
Oh, there you go.
How about that?
There you go. Before we do much, I'm going to take a picture of our smile for the camera, my friend. There we go. Look at that. Someone's going to like that. All right.
Somebody. I don't know who. Nearsighted or farsighted? What would you need to be to make it look good?
Blind drunk, I tell you.
Oh, blind drunk.
Hey now. Well, it is really nice.
Smells great.
It's
not hot.
No, definitely not on the nose. It's not hot. It just has a nice, clean smell. All right, should we go in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wow, it's pretty sweet.
Oh, it's nice.
It's nice. I'm surprised about the sweetness.
I'm surprised about the heat.
A little bit hot.
It's got some heat to it. Let's see. Oh wait, hold on.
It's 46%, right?
We got a pronunciation here. Ardnamurchan. I can't roll my R's, Joanne.
I think isn't that a character in
Khan?
Star Trek?
Yes, the
Star
Wrath
Trek,
of Khan.
Trek thing. Right.
Wasn't that Ricardo Montalban?
Ardnamurchan, yes. Murchan.
Murchan.
The Wrath of Ardnamurchan.
The Wrath of Ardnamurchan. That was Ricardo Montalban, right?
It was, yes.
Nice.
Rich Corinthian leather.
Exactly.
And I think I smell some rich. There is a little rich Corinthian leather.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah, there is, right?
Maybe,
Yes.
maybe. Sure, if we want it to be.
Sure. Why not? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I assume this is a relatively new release.
Yes.
That is, we see this a lot now. There are a lot of distilleries coming out with a lower ABV blend. This is the thing now. It's coming back. The blends are coming back, and this is this distillery's version of this, with an homage to Mr. Maclean and the rugged coastal formation there.
So I'm assuming the malt is their malt.
I don't know if they have a malting house or not, actually.
Well, I mean, they're malt whiskey. I mean, they're
yes. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
It's just a blend with. I think it's just a blend of their own
of their whiskeys with some grain.
With some grain,
okay.
And I don't know that, but I don't know that they are actually. They don't have a malting house. I don't believe.
I don't know.
Most distilleries don't, so it's probably a pretty good chance that they don't have one.
Okay,
but it's nice. It's an I hear this term. I've heard this term a lot more lately. Starter whiskey. If you're trying to get into a new market, maybe a younger market, maybe people that aren't whiskey drinkers, this is a good way to get folks into a brand, into the category completely to start, and then after a while, maybe you take them into the single malt category, and maybe after that, maybe you get them into a single cask or a cask strength version. But this is a stepping stone, I think, and a very good one.
It is. It's really good. But I would say it's maybe a little bit of a step above, like an entry level, because it's got a little bit more bite to it.
Maybe because it's 46%, not 43, maybe not 40.
Maybe, but I'm thinking like for a starter, I would think something more that's a little more easygoing, like a Glenmorangie 10, which is definitely a much gentler whiskey.
Maybe.
Not that this is great. I like this a lot.
No. So I guess there's maybe a philosophical issue or decision that a distillery might make coming out with a blend, whether you're going to do a straight bourbon finish, bourbon cask, or you go, which, I think that's more traditional, right? Or you can go to a sherry cask or wine cask finish, where maybe it expands the market a little bit for folks who like a little bit sweeter palate or fruitier palate profile. I don't know. I think it's good either way. I think it's you're right. It may be a step above this distillery doesn't have a starter whiskey per se. Maybe I don't know if there's is there a 10-year or a 5-year-old or something?
There was crap, I can't remember. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They do have, I think, like they're see, I'm getting it confused with another one that was our barley, but that was a different distillery. That's a different thing. But I like this. I think it's got a little bit more. Too. It's got a little bit more body than just, it has this. It's not like a Dewar's White. This is definitely a step above something like that.
Yes, I agree.
It's peppery. It's actually, I don't find it as sweet on the taste as I did on the nose.
That's really funny because I find it. Oh, correct. Oh no, I think it's sweeter on the taste than the nose.
You think?
I'm just the opposite. Yeah. I think it's. I
find it really peppery, for me.
I don't find it peppery. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, on that interesting note, let's talk about an interesting movie.
Shall we jump to the movie?
Let's jump into the movie. Okay. We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this whiskey shortly.
Okay.
We'll let it air out a bit. So I'm not even sure how this movie came up. in our
Well,
discussions of why we chose it, but it's a great choice because we're in the midst of baseball season.
Well, that's why, because it was in the middle of baseball season. We had a list of like 50 movies. You had a couple
Oh,
of
that's right. That's right.
You had
Yes,
a couple that were a little too serious, and I'm not in the mood for those. Like you had the Lou Gehrig story and
Yeah.
Bang the Drum Slowly. I
Yeah,
don't want to
dark.
see a movie
Very dark.
about. Yeah, I mean, no. I needed something.
You
light
wanted to
and
see
fun.
Major League 2.
I did. My team loves Major League. They
There
love
you
Major
go.
League too. I actually watched
yeah.
Bull Durham last week, and I thought about that. But
Bull Durham's fun
let's
too.
do something a little bit more, not obscure, but maybe forgotten.
Not probably very forgotten in this day and age. 1, it's black and white. 2, it's from 1951. 3, everyone's dead. I think you've got the makings for a forgotten movie right there, right?
Potentially.
But a movie that was remade,
right?
Much later.
I didn't see the remake.
I think I did. It was an Angels, California Angels, LA Angels kind of motif. Like
did Danny Glover play Guffey McGovern?
That sounds familiar. I don't remember.
I only know because I saw it on the
I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into this. So this is hold on a second. 1 sec here.
I got my
Angels in the Outfield, 1951. You got a sheet.
Yeah. So it was released October 19th, 1951, what's today? Oh, look at that. Wow, tomorrow would have been the 72nd anniversary of the release of Angels in the Outfield.
Look at that.
Look at that. We should have did it tomorrow. Let's stop. We'll start tomorrow.
Good night. This is part 1.
All right, that's it.
Tomorrow
We're done.
Part 2.
Done. Okay. So this would have been, was it 72 years?
Yeah, look at that.
So tomorrow is the 72nd anniversary of the release of Angels in the Outfield. So the budget was about $1 million, roughly. I couldn't get any box office numbers on this one. It probably doesn't matter.
I did see it. The box office was the film made $1.4 million.
Okay, it was a break even.
Yeah, and and the film, once studio overhead was added, the film recorded a net loss of $171,000.
Of course it did.
It was a loser.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
Okay, you want a plot summary?
Sure.
Okay, so
let's tell the kids what it's all about.
Sure. A young woman reporter blames the Pittsburgh Pirates' losing streak on the obscenely abusive manager. While she attempts to learn more about him for her column, he begins hearing the voice of an angel, promising him help for the team if he will mend his ways. And he does so. As he does so, an orphan girl who is a Pirates fan and has been praying for the team begins noticing angels on the ball field. Sure enough, the Pirates start winning, and McGovern tries to turn his life around. But can he keep his temper long enough for the Pirates to win the National League pennant? So
that's it. So before we get into characters and scope, it's just a nice movie.
It is. It's a redemption tale, right?
A redemption tale. 1951, we're like 7 years after the war ends, and so movies are coming out that people want to feel good about themselves and feel good about life, and so there's a lot of these kinds of movies, and there were a lot of baseball movies, and this is just one of them. And if it feels good, it's a nice happy cast, and it all ends well in the end, and you walk away feeling pretty good, I think, right?
I would agree.
Yeah,
it's got a little bit of a like spiritual bent to it. There's a little bit of religion in there.
Yes, a lot of interesting factoids about the movie, where it was filmed, and little who was going to be in the movie, who wasn't in the movie, and I think it's casted well. The folks in the movie are really good. The story is not complicated. It's
not at all.
No, nope. And you've got uncomplicated characters. Like you said, it's a redemption story about a not very complicated man who's been he's a baseball lifer, and now he's a baseball manager, and his team sucks, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he's gonna be run out of town by the press, or his players don't like him. nobody kind of likes him. He's a gruff old guy, and he needs a change, and he finally gets one from the angels, and this little girl, and the great Janet Leigh, who plays a reporter for the local newspaper, who is she's the homemaker, runs the homemaking section or something, and they throw her on the sports section, right?
Yep, correct.
Well, I loved all the factoids in this movie. The one, talking casting, is that the voice of the angel is James Whitmore.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. A very young James Whitmore.
And what's interesting is it says uncredited. Why couldn't they credit the guy?
I don't understand that.
There was a whole bunch of people that were uncredited in this movie.
So I was actually looking at the cast of these the credited cast, and if you look at this era, if you look at their bios of what they've done, these individual actors and actresses, they have a lot of uncredited roles in their histories, all of them. It's very interesting. So, this is back in the time of the studio system. You just needed people in the background, people to say 3 words, and they did it because they had a contract and they got their 3 words and they got their $100 and they were done. And you don't get your name on a credit. Credits were a lot shorter back then too. Now we live in the era where the credits are like 20 minutes long and everyone and their mother gets a credit. Right.
That's true.
Then that wasn't the credits were ran in the beginning of the movie, not the end of the movie.
Right.
Sometimes. I think this one did as well.
Yeah, no, I think the majority of films are like that.
So maybe that's part of it. I don't know why that was the case, but you're right. It's funny how many but it's weird that they have speaking roles, especially a speaking role that is so important, doesn't get credited.
What's funny is when you look at the bottom part of the IMDb where they have all the uncredited people. I mean, and there's some famous people in there.
There are.
I mean, you got Ty Cobb, Bing Crosby, Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, the cameos.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty funny. The whole Bing thing was hysterical.
Crosby actually owned part of the Pirates.
Yeah, you know what? And when I watched it again recently, I didn't notice that they, I was like half paying attention a couple times.
We're in my number 21, Roberto Clemente, Pittsburgh Pirate number here for you, for the Pirate fans out there.
Who's 21?
Roberto Clemente, the greatest.
Oh, Roberto Clemente. Okay, I got you.
Pirate history. Pirates fan here. So yeah, the cameos are just awesome. Ty Cobb being an old man is funny.
Yeah.
DiMaggio is just, it's Joe.
Right. Joltin' Joe.
It's Joltin' Joe right there, right? Who's the other one you said?
Bing, Ty
Cobb.
Well, there's a couple other folks that are like not necessarily baseball players, just playing a bit part, but like Barbara Billingsley.
Who's
like
right.
the hat check lady.
The Beavers mom.
Yeah.
The Beavs mom.
Yeah. It was a fun movie. It was a fun little movie.
So why is it fun? Why is this movie still kind of resonate with us? I haven't seen it in years. I saw it years and years ago.
This is the first time I'm watching it. I never saw it before.
Yeah. It was and the version I watched, I think I watched it on
Max.
I guess it was on Max, not YouTube.
It looked great.
It was a really crisp. Oh my God.
It looked fantastic.
It had to be restored. It was beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it looked really, really good. I mean, it wasn't widescreen.
No.
But it looked really good. I mean,
it looked good.
It just really, really looked good.
I think it's from that era of I think I read that it was probably written to be a radio movie, right? So where people just turned into whatever entertainment was, they were just absorbed by it. And you had, aside from the mystery movies, this was, you got sucked into like a really comfortable place.
Yep.
And this is that kind of movie. It's really comfortable. You can't really tear yourself away from it. You like the little girl, you love Janet Leigh, the gruff old guy, you could tell he's not, we don't like him in the beginning, but then you become, because you're hero, he becomes a hero in the end.
Well, and then you get the little backstory of why he is the way he is. And, he had some setbacks and he lost the girl he liked and all that kind of stuff. So,
and he
is it an excuse to be an ass? No, but there's reasons behind it.
That's right. And you bring in an orphanage who you can't not like an orphanage.
Right. Even the nuns are great. The nuns are
The
hysterical.
nuns are great. We know they're not nice. We know they're ultimately really in real life they're not nice.
Well,
and probably.
I mean, I went to Catholic school, and by the time the nuns got to me, they were all like old and kind of. They were actually all really, really nice. But
how are your knuckles?
What's that?
How
my knuckles were fine. Yeah, no, I had no problems.
Okay,
no issues.
Good. Okay, but it's just a comfortable feeling movie.
I mean, it's a feel-good movie, right?
It's a feel-good movie, and it ends really great. And and baseball in itself is that kind of thing. Baseball is a comfortable sport. We kind of just slide into it literally, and it kind of just sucks us in, and for a few hours, and that's what the movie is. It's exactly what baseball is. It's that homespun American thing that we all, not all, but many of us just become. It's magnetic to us, and all the little stories about a baseball game, about the nuances of the game. There's no clock. Well, there is now, but there wasn't a clock then. and you just hang out with the game. And that's kind of how the movie is. You're kind of hanging out with the movie. You're hanging out with these characters, I think.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel nice.
Yeah, it's good. And it's funny, and it's it's a little gruff, and I like a lot of the little things they did too. Like when he's just going off and the way they kind of garbled it all. So in the beginning of the film.
Yep. So back then, there were rules, right? You could not cuss in movies. There was lots of standards. So the way they got around him spitting and cussing on screen was they garbled his language. So whenever I can't remember the name of the Hayes, I think it was the Hayes laws, which were the laws of that govern Hollywood and movie making and television and radio, that you couldn't. It was before bleeping, right? So because everything was live for live entertainment, live, and for theatrical releases you couldn't go that way. So they used this little interesting, instead of bleeping, they did this garbly talk to make it. You had to kind of figure that out. What is he doing? What's going on?
Can I share you a little factoid about this thing?
Yeah.
So it says here, the cursing in the film was handled by taking an actual recording of classic double talk, cutting it into multiple segments of 1 or 2 syllables, rearranging them, and pasting them back together. Now get this. A similar trick was used 31 years later in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
What?
When Spock speaks to Savak in the Vulcan language.
Yeah.
But I just find it funny that, we just had Khan and.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How's
so
that?
Funny.
How's that for a little coinky dink?
Wow. That is
weird.
Wacko. That's
weird.
Crazy.
Weird.
So I like how they did that. That was really
fun.
Cute. Yep. It wasn't like captions that were in, just gibberish or it was really, or bleeped out or something. There wasn't a lot of special effects, even though you've got thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
You've got this voice talking to him. These angels that are allegedly out there, you never see the angels,
which was kind of cool, because if they did it now, I didn't see the remake, but now there's going to be the angels.
Of course, it's going to be all a lot of CGI, and you're going to see they're going to look into the skies and see stuff, and things are going to move around. It's going to be all very special effectsy. Mm-hmm. This was not. It was more of the theater. It was more like radio. It was the theater of the mind, and that another way of making it a special movie compared to what we watch now, where everything is right there in front of you.
Well, what was cool too, what I also liked, it never dragged. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, and you figure they're covering half of a season of baseball, and a whole lot of stuff going on, and they, and the World Series and the playoffs,
and the World Series
in an hour and 40 minutes. Well, I'm sorry, the pennant race. Who were they playing? The Mets? Was that who they were playing last game, or wasn't the Yankees?
Was it the Reds? No, it was the Reds, I think, wasn't it?
No.
Reds, the Dodgers.
At the end, they were playing. It said New York. Oh, it could have been the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Giants. I think it was the Giants.
Oh, okay.
It was New York. I don't remember, but I think it was the Giants.
Okay. It just said New York.
Slight update here on the your Astros Texas Rangers series is 5-2. Rangers have just hit a home run. It's 5-2 in the 5th inning. So the Rangers are making a little bit of a comeback, which we want. The top of the 5th.
Top of the 5th. Okay.
So, yeah, because back in those days you had two actual major leagues. You had the American League and the National League, and the winners played each other in the World Series. And there was the whoever won the league. There were no divisions. It was just all these 6 or 7 teams together.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever won that league, whoever came in first was the winner. There's no playoffs. And then you went and they play the other team.
Okay.
In the other league.
Hey, why is it called a pennant, by the way?
Because you would win a banner. The team would win the banner that said, because a pennant, you know what a pennant is, right?
Yeah, I know. But
that's what you won at the end. If
no trophy, no ring.
Well, there was that too, but the pennant was what you had flying in the stadium the next year. You won the American League pennant or the National League pennant.
Okay. Hey, by the way, we're being invaded.
Ugh. Who is this?
Ugh.
Is this Casey Stengel?
He's ugh.
Nice.
Oh, you're here.
Nice. Really nice.
It's Casey Stengel's older brother.
Oh, even worse. You people are mean. You're just mean.
I didn't say anything. He did.
You're mean.
You know, we were watching
it.
I know.
We're talking about this nice comfy baseball movie.
And then
the real part of us comes out.
The guff.
What are we starting with first? I got to catch up.
Oh, the Maclean's
nose. Yeah. So pour it, and then we'll listen to Mike's feeling about the.
Can we call Mike Guffy from now on?
Oh, Guffy.
He's kind of Guffy.
Guffy Mike.
He's Guffy.
Mike,
or can we call him Aloysius?
Aloysius. Yeah.
You're not very nice. You're not very nice at all.
Yeah, you like
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We are joined, I should add, on this on Booze Dancing TV, what we watch when we drink. We're joined by the third leg of this rickety stool.
The stool.
Rickety.
Third leg of the stool.
He said stool.
Held together with Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue and duct tape.
Not even super glue.
Elmer's glue. Not even wood glue. It's
white just stuff. The regular paper stuff. Yeah, the stuff the kids use.
Is this our second or third time with this, Age?
Second.
Second, right?
Yeah, we had it the one time. What was his name? I can't remember his name. Their U.S. brand ambassador. And I apologize. I just can't remember the man's name. But the Impex crew was in town.
Yeah.
In Cherry Hill at the lovely Banash liquor store. Banash.
Oh, this recently with Joshua? Or yes. Joshua wasn't there?
No, he was.
He was there.
Oh. Yeah,
he was the surprise guest.
He was.
Surprise guest, Joshua Hatton.
And we got a big hug. We got a nice hug. It's can't beat a Hatton hug. Hatton hugs. Our Manhattan. It's a hell of a hug.
That was a good movie.
Manhattan.
Our Manhattan. What do you think, Mike? What do you think?
It's just so good.
It is. It's really good.
Nothing offensive. A little bit of heat.
Yeah, it packs a little punch,
maybe a little more sweetness than some people might like.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like sweet stuff.
So I was saying earlier, we started trying this one out, that there seems to be this industry-wide push for lower end blends from lots of distilleries.
Let's not say lower end. Let's say more affordable, more accessible.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Accessible to kind of maybe trying to hit a younger market. That's my feeling. Some of them are been pretty good, but it feels like there's a lot of them coming on board now. And this, I guess, is their version of this.
And I think you're getting the no age statement for everything too, where before blended whiskey was 10 years or 8 years or 12 years or something.
Right.
And now it's just roll it out. We can roll it out at a lower price because it's not aged whiskey and bring in a whole new audience, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's the push.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a stepping stone to something else, right? Yeah. I was just at a whiskey event here a couple weeks ago here in Los Angeles called Whiskey X. And I think the X meaning, like this Generation X, I think. And it was a whiskey festival, unlike festivals that the three of us have been to many times. It was loud. The music was loud. It was dark. There were cocktails being poured at some of the booths. big brands too. At the Johnny Walker booth, they actually had like a spigots, like a bar, and they were coming out with cocktails. I don't think I even saw any Johnny Walker being poured. There probably was, but I think it's just trying to get different
bring in a new
drinkers
crowd.
out there.
Yeah, sure, why not?
And they need to do it. Us old folks are going to be gone someday, and then who's going to be buying?
Well, it's not your father's whiskey, that kind of thing. Like, I don't want to drink my dad drinks. I want to drink something else. All right,
sure,
here's something else.
Yes,
drink
that's
this.
right. Yeah. Yep. Any other thoughts on it, Mike? On the whiskey?
I'd like to know where it's coming from.
I think it's all from them.
I think it's theirs.
The blends.
I think it's all
That's
theirs.
what I think.
It's all theirs. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I didn't. I read that
blended,
there was
I'm just not sure.
The grain whiskey may not be theirs, but I think the malt stuff is all theirs.
Well, there's QR codes on the bottle, and you could, I guess, if you had a bottle,
that's
you could,
true.
Right,
you could scan it, and it'll tell you where everything's coming from.
It'll give you full disclosure. That's the other thing that I find interesting. There's no piece of paper in the box. It's a QR code on the bottle because
the SWA won't let them.
Well, and not just that kind of stuff, but you sit back and the whole audience is QR now. They want to scan something. They don't want to.
Yeah, kids are going to their phone.
I only read on my phone. I don't read anywhere else.
Right.
Don't put it on the box or give me a piece of paper.
And the other part of that too is that now we're in this sustainability world where packaging is getting smaller and smaller. The boxes are going to go away. The tins are going to go away. No, not at all. So you can't put a piece of paper in there. So a QR code or a website's going to take you there too.
That was the interesting thing with the Ardnamurchan. What they use recycled grains or whatever as part of the paper.
Yeah, to make the labels. That's cool.
Sustainability. What are you going to do? We have something that's like pulp. We can make this into paper.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. So back to the movie, Mike. We already kind of to talk about it a bit. We kind of talked about what the essence of the movie is, and a little bit about the cast. Not too much, but about.
I thought that Danny Glover and Tony Danza were inspired picks to play in this movie. Oh, you're not talking about the 1994 version.
No,
how is
that? 1951 version. Okay, so the 1951 version has
that's the one we're talking about.
Has an 83% at Rotten Tomatoes, and the 1994 version 32% at Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof.
So not
83 is better than 32.
But you know what though? Here's the interesting thing with the baseball movie. Now, for the longest time, I really didn't care for baseball. Now, I've been in and out with the Phils because they've been good for the last 15 years off and on. So, I've grown to like it. But baseball movies, even when they're bad, they're still kind of good. Yeah. They're still kind of fun.
I think
for whatever reason.
The 94 version got knocked because of Disney's ownership of the California Angels. The team was the actual Angels. It was the California Angels. So it was like shameless plugging for their own team.
Sure,
it wasn't the Pirates anymore. It was them. And the little kid in it is Gordon Levitt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. He's a little kid.
Okay.
Which is like, oh, how about that? He's an actual adult actor now.
Fascinating. Now, did you go back and watch the 1951 one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What do you think of one? The 51 one, it's an old timey movie.
Yeah, but it's good.
Where the production values are, it's just a different kind of thing. The way it's shot's different, everything's different. But I think the actors are better than Tony Danza.
Really?
So it's a little bit better of a movie. The thing that surprised me, the guy that plays the pitcher, that's the old pitcher.
He's the guy from
is the guy
from Mildred Pierce.
From Mildred Pierce. You're like,
right.
Sure. Bring us the usual suspects. Let's make the same. Who's our group of people?
Well, there's lots of interesting factoids in the movie, and the casting is really interesting. And as you're watching that movie, you notice that guy from Mildred Pierce. Mm-hmm. All these character actors of the time. There's only really one star in the movie, right? Janet Leigh, but all these other folks, you've seen them elsewhere, right? They're just people that you see in TV later on in the 60s and 70s, and
the radio broadcaster. I mean, he obviously was. I don't know him exactly where I've seen him, but I know I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Well, and the woman that plays sister Edwitha.
Yeah, the Waltons.
Spring Byington.
Oh, the other one.
She was a huge star on radio and TV in the beginning of TV, and she got an Academy Award nomination in 1938.
There you go. For what?
So
for what
she's, while Janet Leigh, it's the beginning of her career, so she seems like she's the star. The people they surrounded her with, they're not too bad.
No. Ellen Corby is in this. She was in the Waltons.
Yep.
She's one of the nuns.
Yep.
We said James Whitmore is the voice of the angel. I think James Whitmore has a fairly long, illustrious career. Keenan Wynn was in so many freaking movies.
Yep.
And
he was a great character actor for probably 50 years.
Oh my God. His bio is nuts. How many things he was in. It's crazy. Comedies, dramas, all these TV appearances, and McLeod and Dragnet and whatever. He was in everything.
Hey, question for you.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that Janet Leigh shared an office with? Who was that actor?
The guy with the glasses?
Yeah.
Marvin Kaplan. Now, Marvin Kaplan is really interesting.
He's been around.
So he was on Alice. He was the phone lineman guy on Alice forever.
Oh, yeah. The little tiny guy that was in there every day. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Mel
Mel was mean to him.
He was the voice of Choo Choo on the cartoon series Top Cat.
Yeah.
He was in McHale's Navy. He was Ensign Kwasniak. He was on Petticoat Junction.
How old are you guys again?
We're old. He was born 1927.
My God.
You watched Alice? Come on.
Don't watch Alice. Yeah. Just kiss my grits.
Don't pretend like you didn't.
Just kiss my grits.
He was in The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis. He very, very, very long career as well. Long career. So not as long as our Mr. Keenan. Oh my God, Keenan Wynn is insane how many things he was in. I mean, and probably my favorite was probably Dr. Strangelove. But so many.
Oh, that's right. He is in Strangelove.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Stagecoach, Bikini Beach, Strangelove, Son of Flubber. I think he did The Absent-Minded Professor, Touch of Evil, uncredited. The Shaggy DA. Boy, I mean, there's Herbie Rides Again. Gosh, it's crazy. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, TV movie. Finian's Rainbow, Once Upon a Time in the West. Boy, it's just endless for him. That's a career.
He got work, is what I'm hearing. He got some work.
He got some gigs. He did get some gigs, just like Mr. Whitmore. Mr. Whitmore, who's Golden Globe, Grammy, Primetime Emmy Award, Tonys, 2 Academy Award nominations.
Yeah.
I didn't even look up Janet Leigh. I should have looked her up. She had a bit of a career as well.
Just a little bit.
And Prodigy, and she has some famous daughter or something, right? Does she? Yeah, I've heard. Yeah.
Kelly Curtis. Right, Kelly Curtis.
Yeah,
that's
Kelly
her daughter.
Curtis.
Yeah,
that's her daughter. Let's see. She was
Psycho, of course.
Psycho, yeah. It's funny. They Manchurian Candidate.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. What else here that we would know? Houdini.
With Tony Curtis, right?
That's right. Touch of Evil with Orson Welles. Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
Bye Bye Birdie. Manchurian Candidate. What else here? One Is a Lonely Number. Boardwalk. Boy, she was in a fair amount of television too. Fair amount of TV as well. Lots of later in life when she got a little older, she was doing episode here on Columbo and Love Boat and Fantasy Island and Matt Houston.
Yeah, everybody did Love Boat.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep, sure. Twilight Zone. That was a remake of it. So she had a long career as well, right? So, well, before we get back to the movie a little bit, why don't we move on to this other whiskey that we have here?
Let's do that.
Yep.
Okay, if we must.
Hey, Mike, it's your turn to say the name of the distillery.
Ardnamurchan.
Oh, look at that. Didn't even. We don't know if it's right, but he just banged it out like.
It's not right. The CH is a K, right? Isn't it Ardnamurchan?
Ardnamurchan?
Read the screen, man. Read the screen.
We had a
read the screen, man. Read the screen.
No. God, you're crabby.
What does she know? Did I hear you say what she know?
What she know?
She knows nothing.
That
So
murr
this
is like a purr to her. She doesn't know. She's
This
Canadian.
is the
Would you
this
say
is
more than
the-
one tattoo, more than one cat?
Hey,
Crazy person?
I'm not insulting her again. That was inadvertent.
No. We love you,
we are-
Joe. We love
you
you.
know, all the folks that are going to listen to this later on, they're going to go, "What the hell are they talking about?" We have been. We had a comment from a pronunciation comment from the great Joanne McGinnis, the whiskey lassie, giving us a phonetic pronunciation of this distillery.
Can we emphasize?
Ardnamurchan.
Can we emphasize the
Ardnamurchan.
con at the end, like Shatner? Con.
So this next whiskey from
Yes.
our friends at Impex Beverages, the Ardnamurchan Sherry Finish Tour Exclusive.
They
So I don't know
call it
what
the
special-
Ardnamerica.
Oh, because they toured around with this one. Is that what
Yes.
the deal was?
Shall I give you a little reading?
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't think
right.
this one's is it widely available?
So it's an exclusive tour bottling, bottled at cask strength. The Ardnamerica tour bottling is a combination of peated and unpeated spirit, fully matured and highly active and very specially selected Oloroso and PX sherry casks, specifically bottled for the first U.S. tour and not to be missed. There were 900 bottles for the U.S.
Wow.
It was blockchain enabled through QR code. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know what that means. This is about the bottle spec. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the whiskey specs: unchill filtered, no color added, 57.8% ABV, commemorative, and collectible.
Well, only 900 bottles that we kind of collectible, right?
And my bottle's still waiting for me over at Panache. Never got it yet.
Oh, you got a bottle?
Man. Get on it.
Yeah, they had a pre-order with Joshua.
Ah, nice.
And
We'll just call him our Manhattan.
or Manhattan.
I love that.
Oh,
So
I'm
this
sure it's
one,
been said before.
this one does not smell as hot as the other one to me.
No, it doesn't. Very, very fruity. Very,
but it
very
is.
fruity.
Oh, but it is.
You got PX and you got Oloroso in there. You got all kinds of
Yeah.
dark fruits and lots of stuff going on in there.
Oh, I went in. It's
Oh,
hot.
come on, man up.
Oh, it's hot.
Man up!
Too big a mouthful to start.
I love the nose.
I'll leave that alone, by the way.
Hey now.
I'll pass on that comment.
Oh, that's a first.
Ardnamurchan. Con.
Ardnamurchan.
Whoa.
That's a kick.
That is a kick.
That's a kick. It's delicious. That's a kick.
So, wow. Huge bite from alcohol.
Mhm.
Huge dark fruit. Prunes, maybe? Raisins?
Yeah, raisins, dates, prunes. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a slap in the facer in flavor and the
In a good way.
High
It's a slap
karate.
in the
High
face
karate,
In a good
yeah.
way. In a good way.
That is really nice. That's good.
No,
Well, that's
then the
good.
first one, of course, is you're getting all that alcohol. The second is going to be just, I think,
It's
going to
just
be really
it's
lovely.
all just flavor. Second
How
just
flavorful it is. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
That's good.
Yummy, yummy in my tummy.
That's really good.
And it's got a linger to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They
That
had
is
some really
special.
nice whiskeys when we went to that little thing.
So did you guys had a full tasting, or
we had I think they're not their base, but their standard issue Ardnamurchan. We had this. We had the Maclean's nose. Then we had a couple of Adelphi bottlings.
Yeah.
One of which was one of our favorites, Kalila.
So Adelphi owns them, right? Is that
Yes.
the way it is? Right.
Yeah. So they're an independent bottler. Now they've got a distillery. Plus they do some other stuff. So they seem like they're pretty what do you call it? Diversified in the whiskey world.
And they're making pretty good product too.
Yes, they are. They are making some nice stuff.
We did I believe a Zoom tasting. I don't know if it was with Joshua or not. It might have been Chris Udi over the pandemic of these guys. and we had 5, 6, 7 of their expressions, and that was really interesting. And I think somebody from the distillery was with us.
Right.
Couldn't understand a word he said. Like the name of the distillery. But it is really good.
Yeah. And like you said, it lingers, not the burn in the back, but the flavors in your mouth.
No, it's nice.
Yeah, there's
really
like almost no.
Well, it's
yeah,
delicious.
it's not the. It's kind of weird.
No.
It's all front linger, not throat linger.
Isn't so much the finish as it's just a flavor. It's really good. It's really good.
That is
delicious.
sort of wacky.
That is very, very good.
So you guys had this at the tasting?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah, because they were doing they did a little advance. You could, pre-buy, pre-order.
And this was the, we're doing 5. Wait. We got one more.
Secret stash. Secret stash.
The boot.
Can I ask Mike how much it was?
90, 110. I can't really.
Oh
remember.
wow!
It was really affordable. I was surprised
that's reasonable.
how relatively inexpensive it was. Well,
how much was the Maclean's nose? Do you remember?
I don't think that's really expensive.
I don't remember. I think they told us
60,
price
70
for that
bucks.
it was. I think under 60 was what they said they were going to sell for.
It's really interesting pricing because sometimes it's all over the place.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, and the $10 per year thing is out the window.
Yeah, it's gone.
Right, and this is not an age statement, right? So, I would have guessed because it's cast strength and there's only 900 bottles. I would have guessed 150 or more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised it was around $100.
Well,
interesting.
I mean, do you think it has something to do with maybe like the name too? I don't think they're quite an established brand yet.
Yeah, that might be it.
That might be part of. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you got to have a pricing strategy, right?
Yeah,
you can't just assume people are going to buy it.
And it's not really old whiskey because they're
not that old.
New stuff coming out. They're not that old.
I mean, if it was a Kalila, or
that would be 150.
Something else, you can go higher. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just wondering. I mean, they're in the business of selling whiskey, right? Not putting it on a shelf somewhere.
You got to move bottles, right? So you can't, and that's the interesting thing. You see this, the pricing of whiskey has gone through the roof in the last 10 years, right? And I think sales are kind of stagnant, kind of in general. Stuff, I don't know how these retailers do it. The prices are so high. How are they moving stuff? I don't get it. Who were these people just buying $100 bottles?
Well, they must have the usual suspects of people that are under
hoarders?
the house.
So,
that's what I'm guessing. Hoarders. It's people that are.
Yeah, but
I know what got it.
At some point, that market, that age group is gonna age out. Think so. I guess that's the point of the blend.
I think you'll roll into the next group. Gen X will be in their 40s and 50s and start hoarding whiskey too. So
maybe
they'll all be getting married and having kids and need excuses to drink too, just like us.
That's true. If they have the income to do this, if they have the income to get into this stuff.
Right. Anyway,
I also think that it becomes one of those things where you try a whiskey and you really like it, and you can't find it anywhere. So you'll buy it from, a Drizzly or from a society or one of these, groups to go and ship it to your house because you don't know if you'll ever find it again. So I think there's some of that's involved where you're drop shipping a lot of this stuff because you taste it somewhere and you're like, this is fantastic. I got to get this.
I think that's true for the more experienced, whiskey drinker. Yeah, I think you're right. Definitely. And you definitely, I think, see, well, at least the goal is, you get someone drinking the Maclean's. Oh, this is interesting.
Yep.
And then, what else is this?
What's next? What's next?
Yeah, what else do they have? Before you know it, they're buying 57.8% whiskey. I think that was obviously the goal, right?
Yeah.
Although you sell more of the $40 stuff than the $100 stuff. Any more thoughts on this? This is I loved it.
It's delicious.
I'm pouring a little more.
Yeah,
it's good.
Poured a little more too.
For this is the 7th inning stretch.
This will be the 7th inning stretch, and just so you know,
what's the score?
I will tell you in a second.
What's the score,
we are in
boys?
a commercial break. I think it's 5-2 still. 5-2.
What did Bugs Bunny do? What's with the Carrot League Ball Club today?
Exactly. You said it. You said it, Mr. Warner.
Mr. Warner.
Mr. Warner. Oh, Mr.
Mr. Game Warden, what season is it?
It's Wabbit season.
It's baseball season.
Wabbit season.
Duck season. Wabbit season. Duck season.
Back to our movie for a minute. There are lots of little things I love about this. Is that it's being a Pirates fan since the early 70s a bit. It's filmed at Pirates Stadium. Just out of my head.
Forbes Field or something?
Forbes Field, right? Forbes Field, where the Pirates and the Steelers played until they built Three River Stadium. Kind of a famous stadium there in Pittsburgh. Some of the weird oddities of the stadium are actually shown in the movie. But some of it was also filmed at Wrigley Field in Los Angeles, where the Cubs, Mr. Wrigley had built a stadium in kind of actually really close to Cantor's Delicatessen, and there was a baseball field there for a minor league team, which was the Angels minor league team. Played there, and the polo. I think you saw that the polo grounds in New York City was some of the was actually not in the movie, but they used Comiskey Park in Chicago as some of the stadium shots.
Interesting.
Yep, and it actually opened. The world premiere was at Pittsburgh's Lowe's Penn Theater, so they kind of thank the city of Pittsburgh. At the very beginning of the movie, the graphic is they thank the Pirates and the city of Pittsburgh for everything, helping to put the movie together, which was nice. And so it was a very Pittsburgh Pirate-oriented flick. And you mentioned
when they made the 94 movie, they actually premiered at Three River Stadium. So they showed it, I guess, on the Jumbotron.
Oh, that's funny.
That was their only real tie-in to the Pirates, is they let them,
in the second one.
We'll do that in the second one.
Interesting.
Yep.
Hey,
go ahead.
Here's a little fun factoid. The catcher for part of the Pirates' 1951 season was future Hall of Fame broadcaster Joe Garagiola.
That's right. Yeah. Started with there. He went from there to the Cardinals, I believe. That's where he was famous. Most famous playing team. MGM originally purchased the story as a vehicle for Spencer Tracy, who was later replaced by Clark Gable. Gable chose instead to make Lone Star. MGM attempted unsuccessfully to borrow James Cagney from Warner Brothers before settling on Paul Douglas. So that was you went from Spencer Tracy to Paul Douglas with a couple stops in between.
Of the four, I think the only one that I could see in the role would be Spencer Tracy.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't see Clark Gable as a baseball guy, and James Cagney.
Absolutely not.
Well, James Cagney at that point in time would have been older and grizzled. He could have been. Yep. He could have been the manager. He could have been.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's probably better the way it was, but he could have been. I think Clark Gable's too fancy. He could have been the manager.
He would have been too fancy, I think, too. I agree with you.
He could have been the owner,
the umpire,
or the commissioner.
There you go. He walks up to the umpire. Yeah. Frankly, I don't give a damn. What's he gonna say? I mean, I don't know. I can't see it working.
We talked earlier, Mike, about the cameos. Bing Crosby, Ty
who
Cobb,
owned the Pirates.
Part of the Pirates. Yep, he was a part owner. Ty Cobb, DiMaggio. Harry Ruby's in it. Songwriter Harry Ruby, who wrote a billion songs. I think. Didn't he write? No, he was like the Gershwin of Hollywood, I believe. Ralph Kinder, I think, is in the movie at one point. Who was a big pirate star for years.
Yep.
So it was they really did a nice job of adding some baseball people and some non-baseball people to the movie. It was well done, I think.
I like the energy of the movie. It kept going, it kept rolling.
99 minutes.
It was never boring.
Yeah.
Eisenhower's favorite movie.
That's
Dwight.
right. That's right.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be good. If I liked it. Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, it's cheesy. There's some cheesy lines. There's no real great quote. There was only one quote that I thought was kind of funny. Dogs have fleas, managers have sports writers.
So, what I thought was interesting make this a broader conversation, maybe a little bit. This is 1951.
Yes.
There are no African American ball players in this at all.
Nope.
This is 4 years after Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier. And I think there was only one or two African Americans in the movie at all. There's a maid, I believe, or is a gentleman who is a waiter. I don't remember, but that's it. This movie hardly broke the color barrier.
Right.
Definitely not on the baseball side.
It's in black and white, but it was all white. Is that what you're saying?
It was all white.
And you have to realize in 51, there were still a lot of teams that still didn't have a black player. The Phillies and the Red Sox didn't get somebody till like 57 or 58. They were the last two teams.
That's right.
So,
that's right. Yes.
It's part of its time. Not that it's right, but it's part of its time.
Right. Yeah. There were some funny moments. I thought the stuff with the nuns was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And what was funny is, do you remember the one part where the nun's talking to the kids and the kids are all shining shoes? Like, what is going on here? It struck me.
What is that not what they're supposed to be doing?
I don't know. It was just kind of funny. They're all like happy-go-lucky in the orphanage, blah, blah, blah.
It's a trade school.
I like the nun just like...
It really is a trade school. I thought one odd thing was that doesn't Janet Leigh say early that she's 24 years old? Her age gets mentioned in the movie early.
Yeah, she's like in her 20s.
Yet now she's with this old guy manager at the end who's like twice her age. That seemed odd.
Yeah. Well, she was 24 actually.
Yeah, she actually was 24.
But I think they say her age in the movie.
And he's 20 years older than her. So yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed okay then. Now, not so much.
I don't know. I think it's okay now, but who am I? Hey, it's good enough for Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's true.
That's just a series of beards. You can't convince me that those people are actually his dates.
Oh, that's so funny.
He's a poof.
Well, I think we all like this movie in different,
it's a lot of fun.
ways.
It's just a lot of fun.
It was actually fun to go back to a movie like this.
Yeah,
and I like the little gems of that era.
And I actually like the 94 version. So it was good to see this one because it's a remake and everything. But I didn't get a chance to see it before. And the thing I liked in the 94 version was the kid was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and the lead angel was Christopher Lloyd. I mean, how do you not like Christopher Lloyd?
That's true.
Funny, I don't remember that at all. What
What
year was that? 94, you said?
94, yeah, 94.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey's in it?
There's a whole lot of people in that movie.
I'm looking right now.
It's crazy.
Is it a Touchstone film? It's a Disney movie, right?
Yeah.
It is Disney and Buena Vista, yeah. Jesus. Danny Glover, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Tony Danza, Christopher Lloyd. Who's Ben Johnson? Taylor Negron.
Ben Johnson would be the Keenan Wynn, as a character actor. Like if you pulled his name up on IMDb, you'd be like, this guy's in everything.
Jackson. Oh, you're gonna love this one, Ange. Pat Riley. I mean, Adrian Brody is in it.
Is he really?
Yeah. Adrian Brody's
as Danny Hemmerling, Angels utility player. Matthew McConaughey as
McConaughey's in it as an outfielder. Neil McDonough, who has a huge starring role in Band of Brothers and a bunch of other things after that. He plays one of the pitchers. Dermot Mulroney plays the bad guy, the bad father to Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
He gives him up so he can be adopted.
Mitchell Page, former Oakland A. Carney Lansford, former Angel third baseman. Yeah. Wow.
And batting champion.
Yes. Quite the list there. Wow.
Yeah.
Considered one of the top 10 in one list, top 10 worst movies.
Yeah, that's probably not something you want to be on.
Went on to gross $50 million domestically.
That's true. And the Spring Byington, kind of the head of the orphanage kind of person, it was Brenda Fricker.
Who's that?
Oh, Brenda Fricker. Okay.
Brenda Fricker goes on to win an Academy Award for My Left Foot.
Oh, yeah.
She actually won that. She won that beforehand, and then was in this movie, Angels in the Outfield, afterwards.
That's funny.
So she jumped into a bunch of comedies where she was in So I Married an Ex-Murderer. She was in Home Alone 2, playing the somewhat homeless lady in the park, and then she's an Angel of the Outfield.
That is so funny. So the man that directed that movie was William Deere, who directed The Perfect Game, Sandlot. He likes baseball movies. Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
Harry and the Hendersons. School of Life. Mr. Troop Mom. He's all over the place. That's funny.
And
Wow.
and the Sandlot's one of the best baseball movies ever.
Yes, definitely. I almost suggested that if I didn't in that email.
I thought about it, but I saw this. I'm like, let's do something old.
No, this is good. This is
good.
So. This is good. So we liked the movie. Let's talk about the whiskeys one last time. We had the Maclean's Nose and the sherry finish. What do they call it? What's the name of the tour?
The ArdnAmerica.
ArdnAmerica tour.
It's probably more like Merca. You got to roll the myrrh.
ArdnAmerica.
So we've all been down this distillery a little bit before via the Impex folks.
Yeah.
Haven't really not liked anything, right? It's all been good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we thank our friends at Impex, Sam Thomas, Chris Udi, and the team over there for getting us some samples.
Don't forget our Manhattan.
And our Manhattan. And our Manhattan. Our Manhattan. Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
Did you like one whiskey better than the other?
They're different. I mean, they're different whiskeys.
They're going to say they're really too different to go.
Yeah, I can't say one's better than the other.
Better than the other. Yeah.
They're both.
I didn't really look at the what the label said that Sam's office put on these until tonight, and these are two different whiskeys. Just looking at them without knowing a thing about them.
Right? The Maclean's Nose could become a table whiskey.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I would put that up there with the double wood.
Yeah.
I'd put it up there. That this is one of those hey, you said you didn't like whiskey. Try this. I think you're gonna like it.
Right.
So that's when you say double.
Going back to what we were talking about before Mike joined us. Before Mike was kind enough to join the show.
Yes. I gained you with my presence.
Walking in like Bob Hope.
Blessed us. We're blessed. You're like one of the angels. You're like one of the angels.
Yeah. Some days I think I'm closer to being
one. We were talking about like the gateways and all that.
Yeah, gateway whiskeys. Yeah.
Again, I think it's a step above in terms of like more advanced appreciation of whiskey. Like you said, the double wood, the Glenmorangie 10. They're like the welcome mat.
The Glenfiddich. Those
they're
guys.
The welcome mat. You go to the Maclean's Nose. I think you're now in the lobby.
Yeah.
You're going to work your way to the cellar and to the bar.
And I think to a certain extent you see Dewar's as a blended whiskey. It's everywhere. And I think I like this better than Dewar's. I mean, it's nothing against Dewar's, but boy, I think this is really good.
Yeah.
So
it's got a little more complexity to it.
Yeah. We don't have this kind of whiskey kind of list talk too often. So what is, Mike, you kind of just said, I assume you meant the Balvenie double wood, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So so when somebody asks you like what whiskey should I start with? Or what do you recommend as a good starter whiskey? What would you guys
start? I usually ask what they like to drink. And if there's somebody who's like, you're probably going to be a heavy flavor guy, maybe I'd direct them to something that's peated a little bit. But in most cases, they're like, I don't drink anything that has big, bold flavor to it. I'm afraid. So you're like, all right, nothing peated. Let's just go and get the double wood, the Glenmorangie 10. They're consistent and they're available just about everywhere. So you're not telling somebody to find like a unicorn.
So you mean for like a starter, like if you wanted to just
somebody's
like an intro to single malt?
Yeah.
All right, let's go 5.
Intro to single malt, or even just whiskey in general.
Well, I mean, but the thing is though, bourbon and rye, I think when they're two different worlds.
Let's keep it to Scotch.
Let's keep it single malts. Let's keep the malts. So I mean, I think if you're going to start, I would say again we go back to the Glenmo 10, which I mean, does it get more delicious than that?
Yeah.
It's just great. Maybe a Glenfiddich 15.
Yeah.
You get the double wood, an Auchatosh and triple wood maybe, or even like their base, or like the Virgin Oak or one of those.
Yeah.
And something along those lines, like even the Glenlivet 12. I mean, you can't be offended by a Glenlivet 12.
And I probably would steer somebody away from something that's sherried. and I'd steer people away from something that's peated until they've had one, and they'd be like, "All right, what do you like? You like something
Start
sweeter?
with something bourbon cask.
Yeah. Let's try something sherried, or let's try something peated and roll in."
Because those are things that aren't in, like, let's say, Jim Beam. They're just not.
Yeah.
Right.
So
my go-to recommendation, almost without question, is, it's funny you said the double wood. I always say the Caribbean cask.
The rum cask. Yeah. You get the rum cask. That's nice. That's nice too.
It's a little bit sweet, not too overly sweet. It's not maybe the best version of what a single malt is, because not everything is rum cask, of course.
Right.
But I just think it hits a lot of good spots for people.
Yeah, and it bridges the gap between what you might drink and this new thing. It's a little cocktaily because it's got some rum hints to it.
Yep, the Glen Murray 10 or 12, or whatever the lowest number is that they have, I think is a really good bourbon cask that is inoffensive, solid, right? I think the inoffensiveness, I think, that's
what you want. You don't want somebody to get slapped in the face and then go back and say, "I never."
Whether it's peat or whether it's sherry, I don't think people want to get that. And then, oh my God, all whiskeys are this crazy amount of wine.
My first Scotch was an Oban. Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not heavy. I don't think it's very well balanced. There's a whole lot of peat involved. And you think, if they all taste like this, I'm never going to drink this again.
Yeah, I don't. And when I'm recommending stuff, I want people to come back.
Yeah,
right? You want them to come back and try something different, and like the thing you sent them to,
and I think the other thing I try to find is, like, I'm going to recommend something to you that you don't have to buy, that you can probably find in the bar.
That's a good point.
So it's going to be on the shelf. You can try it first and then go buy it. Where, like, the Caribbean cask, I really like that, but that might not be everywhere. The Glen Murray's might not be everywhere. Glen Murray's might not be everywhere.
My feeling always is, if you can get it at Bevmo or Total Wine, it's pretty standard stuff, right? And if you can get it there, it's it's the off the shelf stuff that you don't have to special order from someplace.
And the thing is,
pay $3 for it.
You want to get it in the bar so you can try it before you make the investment in the bottle. And then be like, I drank one and I'm never going to drink it again. It's going to sit there and be a dusty.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And now even bars are expensive to buy, even less shots. So, you almost don't want to spend it on a bottle if you don't like it. Right. Well, this was fun. This was a fun middle of playoffs baseball talk.
Oh, by the way, what's the score, Bugs?
It is 5-2, 2 outs, and the top of the seventh.
Stinking Astros are winning.
Yeah, but they're still down 2-0.
That's just true. We're in the bullpen now. We had both bullpens going. So
okay. Any final baseball thoughts?
Go Phils.
I want your Phillies and the Rangers to be in the World Series.
Oh. One more little baseball thought.
I want every ex-Dodger shortstop to be in the World Series.
Did you listen to the latest podcast?
I started listening to this yesterday.
The one about the one about the Phillies and the Braves.
I started listening yesterday. I'm only in about 10 minutes. They're watching the game as they're.
I got about 45 minutes into it. It is hysterical.
It's hysterical.
It is hysterical.
Mike, you need to listen to the podcast.
The thing that amazes me with some of the guys, not just on the Phillies, but into the playoffs, is they talk about Mr. October, and Reggie Jackson personifies this guy just shines.
Yep.
And I always think about Steinbrenner. He brought Winfield in as one of his big free agents, and his comment was, "I thought I signed Mr. October. Turns out I signed Mr. May."
And everybody's great in May.
and I just, that sticks with me. And you watch some of these guys, and some guys, just the brighter the spotlight, the more they shine. And other guys that just shrink away, they can't handle the pressure. And like Clayton Kershaw, not to pick on the Dodgers, he's not a big game playoff pitcher compared to other guys like a Schilling or Smoltz or some of these other guys where their record in the playoffs is way better than their record in the regular season.
7-2 Astros.
And you go and you look at Schwarber is unbelievable. It's just amazing to watch what he
crazy.
does. Every year he's played, they've made the playoffs.
He was with the Cubs, right?
Yeah,
First.
every year he's been in the playoffs.
The Cubs should have never given him up.
The guy doesn't bat 200 every year. He's in the playoffs. He's just unbelievable.
Oh,
and the monstrous home run to start the game or start the inning, it's the kind of thing that sucks the life out of the other team.
You know what I love is that the Mets, how bad they suck this year. They spent a fortune in payroll, and now Scherzer and what's his name, the other pitcher, he's back with the Astros.
He's with the Astros.
Verlander are back in the championship series, and they're getting paid by the Mets.
so they worked it out so they could play together, and now they're playing against each other.
Yes, it's hilarious.
And the Mets are paying for all this. Yeah, they are.
And the Mets are idiots. Yes.
So one last thing, you mentioned Joe Garagiola. Who lived on the same block as Joe Garagiola?
Yogi Berra.
Yep. So you had
best
two guys. And who was scouted higher?
Joe
Garagiola. He was projected to be the big impact guy. And instead he becomes a Baseball Hall of Famer because of his broadcasting career.
Broadcasting,
And Berra is a 3-time MVP and 10-time World Series winner.
And while we're talking about TV and movies, Yogi Berra's granddaughter is, I believe it was this year or last year, she's been promoting a documentary on her grandfather, on Yogi. I think it's being really wide release, not to DVD or to on demand yet, but I would love to see it because I loved Yogi. Yogi is just a great character, like Joe. Great characters, great baseball characters.
I tell my son some of the Yogi-isms, and the only one that sticks with him is, do you want the pizza cut into slices of 8 or slices of 4? And he says, just make it 4. I can't eat 8 slices. And Jimmy, my big boy, he says it all the time. I couldn't eat 8 slices. Just make it 4.
If you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Take it.
That's a Yogi.
All
right. On that note, guys.
Goes there anymore.
This was what we watch when we drink, the baseball episode. We thank everyone for tuning in, and this will be out on a podcast, downloadable soon. Correct. And we will be back with another fascinating episode, maybe sometime in the playoffs, World Series, or maybe after when basketball starts going, and we'll talk basketball or something. Maybe we'll do a basketball movie next.
Sure.
We'll see. The Fish Who Stole, what was that one from Pittsburgh?
Fish should say Pittsburgh.
That one.
We can do Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's a Pittsburgh. That's right.
Isn't Gabe Kaplan in that? Is that
Gabe Kaplan? Julius Erving.
He's the coach, right?
Yeah,
he's the coach.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. 7. Did I mention the 7-2 Astros? In the 7th inning. All right, guys. Should we take us out?
Yeah, play us off.
We got one thing to say, and of course, go Phils.
Go Phillies. Go Rangers.
All right. Credits.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.